Have you ever found yourself hesitating as you walked across a room, maybe pausing for just a second to make sure you've got your balance before taking that next step? Or maybe you've noticed you reach for the wall or a piece of furniture, almost without thinking, just to feel a little steadier. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we get older, especially after 65, things like balance, strength, and even the way we move around our own homes can feel a little less secure than they used to. But here's the good news. Staying independent and safe doesn't mean giving up the things you love. In fact, with a few small changes around your home, you can reduce your risk of falling and keep that freedom to move, live, and enjoy life exactly the way you want to. Today we're going to talk about 7 simple changes you can make at home that can have a huge impact on your safety. These aren't complicated renovations or expensive overhauls. They're practical, doable adjustments that make your home safer while letting you stay independent longer. Think of them as little investments in your peace of mind. And I'll tell you something, these changes don't just prevent falls, they also help you feel more confident moving around day to day, which is just as important. So let's start with one of the most common culprits when it comes to falls: clutter. I know clutter doesn't sound dangerous, right? A pile of magazines on the coffee table, a pair of shoes left near the door, maybe a cord from the lamp running across the floor. We barely even notice these things because they're part of our everyday lives. But when it comes to safety, those small items are like hidden traps waiting for the wrong step. One little misstep, one shuffle of your foot in the wrong direction, and suddenly you're dealing with a fall that could change everything. The simple solution? Keep your walking areas as clear as possible. That might mean finding a basket to tuck shoes away in by the door, organizing the mail in one safe spot instead of letting it spread across the floor, or moving that cord so it runs along the wall instead of cutting across the middle of the room. I once heard from a woman in her 70s who said she didn't realize how many little things were in her way until she had her granddaughter visit. Her granddaughter was crawling around on the floor and bumping into magazines, shoes and bags, and that's when she thought, if it's a problem for a child crawling, it's probably a problem for me walking. She cleared it all away, and she said she instantly felt lighter walking through her own living room. Small effort, big payoff. Now let's talk about something else that's easy to overlook: lighting. Poor lighting is a big reason so many older adults have accidents at home. Our eyes naturally change as we age, which means we don't see as clearly in dim light as we once did. Think about how many times you've gotten up in the middle of the night, maybe to use the bathroom or grab a glass of water, and you didn't bother turning on all the lights because you didn't want to disturb anyone, or maybe you just didn't feel like fumbling for a switch. But in that moment, you're putting yourself at risk, because one shadow or unfamiliar shape can throw you off balance. The fix here doesn't have to be complicated. Adding nightlights in hallways, bathrooms, and bedrooms makes an enormous difference. These days, you can even get lights that plug into outlets and automatically turn on when it gets dark. Some even have motion sensors so they light up as soon as you step near them. That way you never have to worry about walking in the dark again. I can't tell you how many people have told me they wish they had done this sooner, because it completely changed the way they felt moving around at night. Imagine never again having to shuffle carefully to the bathroom, hands outstretched, hoping you don't bump into the dresser. Instead, your path is clear, safe, and lit up every step of the way. Speaking of steps, let's move on to one of the trickiest areas in any home: the bathroom. Did you know the bathroom is one of the most common places for falls? Think about it. It's a small space, often with hard surfaces, and water makes everything slippery. You may have felt it yourself, stepping out of the shower and feeling that moment of uncertainty as your foot searches for traction on the mat. That tiny wobble is all it takes for something serious to happen. One of the best changes you can make in the bathroom is to install grab bars. And before you think, oh, that's just for people who are really frail, let me stop you right there. Grab bars aren't a sign of weakness, they're a tool for independence. They give you the confidence to move around freely without worrying about slipping. I've spoken with so many people who were hesitant at first, maybe because they didn't want their bathroom to look like a hospital, but once they had them installed, they couldn't believe how much easier it made their routines. Today you can even find grab bars that are designed to look stylish, blending in with your bathroom decor. Pair those with a non-slip mat inside and outside of the shower, And suddenly you've turned one of the riskiest rooms in your house into one of the safest. Here's a little tip. When you're shopping for mats, make sure they have a strong grip on the bottom. Some mats can actually make things worse if they slide around. You want ones that stay firmly in place, so when you step on them, they stay put. It's such a simple upgrade, but it can be life-changing in terms of safety. Now, I want to pause here for just a moment and say this. Making these changes isn't about limiting your life. It's not about wrapping yourself in bubble wrap or living in fear of a fall. Quite the opposite. It's about giving yourself the freedom to move confidently in your own space. It's about knowing that your home supports you instead of working against you. Because independence is more than just being able to do things on your own. It's about having the peace of mind to enjoy life without constantly worrying about what might go wrong. And if you're enjoying this video so far, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like and subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll get more helpful tips and ideas to make life after 60 not just safer, but happier and easier too. So we've talked about keeping floors clear, improving your lighting and making your bathroom safer with grab bars and mats. Each of these changes is small on its own, but together they create an environment where you're less likely to stumble, slip, or lose your balance. And when you start combining them, you'll notice not only fewer risks, but also more confidence in every step you take. Now let's keep building on that idea and talk about what else you can do to strengthen your independence at home. When you think about independence, it's not just about avoiding accidents, it's also about feeling strong and capable in your everyday movements. That brings us to something many people don't consider until it becomes an issue: the stairs. If your home has steps, whether it's a full staircase or just a couple of steps leading into another room, those areas can become surprisingly tricky as balance and muscle strength shift with age. Even a single step can throw you off if you're carrying groceries, laundry, or simply not paying full attention. A powerful way to reduce risk here is to make sure every set of stairs in your home has sturdy handrails on both sides. Too often, people only have one handrail, or the rail is wobbly and hasn't been tightened in years. That's like trying to cross a bridge with one rope instead of two. You can do it, but why make it harder than it needs to be? Holding on to both sides instantly gives you better balance and control. And here's another idea. Add brighter lighting above the stairs. Shadows on steps can play tricks on your eyes, especially if your depth perception isn't what it used to be. Good lighting ensures you see each step clearly and feel secure as you move. I once heard a story from a man in his late 60s who admitted he used to skip using the handrail altogether. He said, "I felt silly holding on, like I was admitting I was old." But then one day he missed a step and nearly took a nasty tumble. After that, he decided pride wasn't worth the risk. He started using the rail every single time, and he even had a second one installed on the opposite wall. He told me later, "Now I actually enjoy walking the stairs because I feel steady. I don't think about falling anymore." That's what these changes are all about, removing fear and replacing it with confidence. Now let's walk into the bedroom, because that's another place where falls often happen. It might not seem dangerous at first, after all, it's where you rest. But think about those moments when you first wake up in the middle of the night or early morning. Your body is stiff, your muscles aren't fully awake, and your balance may be off. That's when trips and stumbles happen, often on rugs or when reaching for a lamp in the dark. The key here is to simplify and stabilize your space. If you have small rugs around the bed, consider whether they're helping or hurting. Many decorative rugs don't have non-slip backing, and when you step on them groggy at 2 a.m., they can slide out from under you. A safer option is either to remove them altogether or replace them with mats that grip firmly to the floor. And let's talk about bed height for a second. If your bed is too high, you might find yourself almost hopping down each morning, which is harder on your joints and balance. If it's too low, standing up can take more effort, and that extra strain can throw you off. Adjusting the bed to a comfortable height where your feet rest flat on the floor makes getting in and out much safer and smoother. Another small change that makes a big difference in the bedroom is keeping things you need within easy reach. If you often grab your glasses, phone, or a glass of water during the night, keep those items on a nightstand so you're not fumbling in the dark. Some people even add a motion sensor light under their bed. that gently glows as soon as their feet touch the floor. It's a simple way to guide your steps without blasting your eyes with bright light. Now, let's step into the kitchen, because believe it or not, this is another area where small changes can have a huge impact. Kitchens are full of movement, reaching, bending, carrying things, turning around quickly, and all of that can increase your risk of losing your balance. Have you ever tried to reach for something on the top shelf and stretched a little too far, only to feel like you might tip over? Or bent down to grab a pot from the bottom cabinet and felt dizzy standing up again? These are everyday moments that can lead to accidents. A simple adjustment is to reorganize your kitchen so the items you use most often are stored at waist level. That way, you're not constantly reaching up high or bending down low. If you love your morning coffee, keep the mugs, filters, and coffee tin on a shelf that's easy to reach without stretching. If you cook often, keep your pots and pans in a spot where you can grab them without crouching too much. Little by little, this reduces the strain on your body and keeps you safer. And here's another idea. Consider using a sturdy step stool with a handle if you absolutely must reach something higher. A chair or wobbly stool is never worth the risk, no matter how quick the job may seem. I also want to mention footwear here, because what you wear on your feet around the house makes a bigger difference than most people realize. Many falls happen simply because of slippery socks or shoes that don't fit properly. Walking barefoot or in socks might feel comfortable, but it can leave you more vulnerable to slipping. Instead, go for shoes or slippers with non-slip soles that fit snugly. I know someone who switched from her old floppy slippers to a pair with firm support, and she said it completely changed the way she moved around her home. She felt grounded, steady, and even a little more energetic, just knowing her footing was secure. Another overlooked adjustment is making sure you have clear paths in areas where you carry things. For example, if you're often carrying laundry from one room to another, make sure nothing is left in that pathway. Carrying a basket already limits your vision of the floor, so even a small object could trip you up. One trick is to use smaller laundry baskets or rolling hampers so you're not overloading yourself and blocking your view. That way, you can see where you're stepping and avoid unnecessary risks. These little shifts in your environment add up. And when you combine them with the changes we talked about earlier, clearer floors, better lighting, grab bars in the bathroom, you start to notice something powerful. You're not moving around nervously anymore. You're not second-guessing every step. Instead, you're reclaiming the comfort and confidence of knowing your home has been set up to support you, not challenge you. It's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? Knowing you can continue enjoying your space, cooking your meals, walking your stairs, or resting in your bedroom without worrying that a small misstep might take away your independence. That peace of mind is priceless. And if you're finding these tips helpful, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It's the easiest way to make sure you don't miss out on more practical, uplifting advice designed to help you stay safe and independent as you age. So, we've now added more tools to your toolkit: stronger stair safety, a better bedroom setup, and a kitchen that works with you instead of against you. Each of these changes not only lowers your fall risk, but also adds comfort and ease to your daily life. Let's keep going and talk about a couple more powerful adjustments that tie everything together and give you even greater freedom at home. One of the most important areas we haven't touched on yet is the entryway to your home. Think about it. Every time you leave or come back, you're navigating steps, thresholds, or sometimes uneven surfaces. Rain, snow, or even just a wet welcome mat can make this spot one of the most hazardous areas without you realizing it. And yet, this is where independence really shows itself. Being able to walk out your front door on your own terms, whether it's to grab the mail, visit a friend, or take a stroll, is a huge part of feeling free. So what can you do to make your entryway safer? Start with the surfaces. If you have steps, make sure they're not cracked, loose, or slippery. Adding slip-resistant treads or a textured mat can instantly reduce your risk. If you have a threshold that's a little too high, you might consider installing a small ramp or lowering the threshold so it's easier to walk through without catching your foot. And just like with stairs inside the home, make sure you've got a solid handrail to hold onto when you're stepping in or out. A friend of mine added a rail by her front door after a near fall, and she said the difference was remarkable. Suddenly, she didn't hesitate anymore when she walked outside. Lighting plays a role here too. A motion sensor light near your entryway is a lifesaver, especially during darker evenings. That way, you're never fumbling for keys in the dark or stepping into shadows where you can't quite see your footing. It's such a small thing, but it's these details that add up to big safety. Now let's talk about something that doesn't always get as much attention, but can make a huge difference. Furniture placement. Over the years, homes have a way of collecting things. Extra chairs, decorative tables, plants, you name it. While they may look nice, they can also become obstacles. If you find yourself weaving around furniture just to get from one side of the room to the other, it might be time to rethink the layout. Wide, clear walkways make movement easier and safer. And this doesn't mean stripping your home of personality or comfort. It's about finding a balance between beauty and function. I knew a gentleman who loved his living room filled with cozy chairs and end tables. But after tripping on a corner one evening, his daughter helped him rearrange the space. They moved a few things out, shifted others, and suddenly he had wide open paths. He told me afterward he couldn't believe how much better it felt, like his home was breathing again. He still had all his favorite pieces, but now he could move around freely, without the constant risk of bumping into something. Another area to consider is cords and cables. I mentioned earlier how dangerous it can be to have one stretching across a walkway, but it's worth repeating. Many of us accumulate electronics over time, and with them come cords that don't always have a neat place to go. Invest in cord organizers, clips, or even a simple extension that runs along the wall. The fewer surprises on your floor, the better. Something else that helps tremendously, though it isn't a physical change to the home itself, is building in reminders to check your safety measures regularly. Think of it like giving your home a little health checkup. Are the handrails still sturdy? Are the mats still gripping tightly? Have the batteries in your motion lights run out? These things wear down over time, and staying on top of them keeps your safety consistent. It only takes a few minutes every couple of months, but it can prevent accidents before they happen. And here's a piece of advice that may surprise you. Sometimes the best home change is actually changing your own routine. For example, carrying smaller loads instead of big, heavy ones, so your hands are free to steady yourself, or pausing before you stand up from a chair or bed, giving your body a moment to adjust before you walk. These tiny adjustments take no extra effort, but they create a rhythm of safety in your daily life. They work hand in hand with the changes you've made in your environment, giving you double the protection and confidence. I want to pause here and remind you why all of this matters so much. A fall isn't just a stumble, it can change the course of your independence. But the beauty is, with small, thoughtful steps, you have so much power to prevent that from happening. Every grab bar, every light, every rearranged chair is an act of self-care, a decision that says, I want to keep living life my way. And isn't that what it's really about? Having the freedom to do what you love, whether that's cooking a favorite meal, tending to your garden, or simply walking to the window to watch the world go by without hesitation. I know sometimes